Welcome everyone to episode number 82 of the Disney Infinity and Beyond podcast presented by DisKingdom.com with me, Roger, here in the UK. And then we have there in sunny California, we have Abe. How you doing, Abe?
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah. And this week's show, we're going to be discussing, well, just that slight little thing. What's next? That's basically the big thing.
The new Nintendo console?
Yeah, the new NX. And it's going to give it to you. Yeah, we got Disney Infinity next, which we're going to be discussing on this week's show of what we think it is, what's going on, what it's all about. And yeah, this kind of announcement came out of nowhere, didn't it, Abe?
Yeah, it kind of out of left field. I mean, obviously, it kind of blew my my guess for the announcement. It happened tomorrow out of the water. But it's interesting that they chose the day of the Zootopia figures to come out to announce everything. I believe Spencer did call it, so kudos to him on the last show. But yeah, it's just out of the blue, and I guess we'll dive deep into it, but I just hope it's not just glorified. Here's the stuff that leaked that we are officially announcing, and not anything else.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to go through some of what they've announced and what they gave out first off.
Sounds good.
So first off, we got sent this email basically saying tune in for the first Disney Infinity next with a J.J. Abrams solar glare on the X. We also it says that John Blackburn and John Vignocchi.
Wait. For a second, I thought you said J.J. Abrams was going to be in this announcement, but I saw what you did there. Okay, yeah, proceed.
Yeah. You got John Blackburn and John Vignocchi are going to be doing a presentation. Now, this is what it says. This is present an update on what's coming next for Disney Infinity 3.0 edition. Tune in on 1st of March at 6 p.m. GMT. So this was the version that came to me, and it will be on YouTube. So I'll just quickly do the times for those. It's 10 a.m. in Pacific time over there in LA, and I think 1 o'clock in the afternoon in New York. Personally, great time because I can actually watch it live. So that was a good one. Plan is for us next week. We're going to do our podcast episode right after this announcement, basically, rather than recording on Monday as normal. We thought we would push it back a day, and since it's on a kind of time when we're all awake, we're going to do that next week for that one. But this was a bit, when I first saw that Disney Infinity next, I'm going to be honest, I was like, oh my god, is this Disney Infinity 4.0's new name? That was my initial first reaction when I was strolling down my email on my phone. It was like, whoa, it was like Disney Infinity next, so they're just dropping the names all together. And then I read at the bottom, it said, an update on what's coming next for Disney Infinity 3.0 edition. That's when it kind of went, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, they didn't have to get too fancy with the word next and add the J.J. Abrams solar flare, but yeah, it's interesting. It feels a little out of place to me. When I first saw it, I honestly thought like, okay, finally they're going to announce what's coming out next, which we technically already know. But I didn't really look into the logo until a lot of people started bringing it up. And I think it was Daniel from Disney Infinity Codes made this huge article about, it's this big giant thing. And then you and I started talking about it. And then I don't know. I'm on a different page on this one.
Yeah, well, there was also this is because I remember sending you a message afterwards, because on the official website, I pointed out something to you which wasn't really in the email, where it says spring 2016.
Correct.
Which through us, this is just in this thing of going right now. I'm wondering now. This is going to be our quarterly update on what's going to, or something like that, of what's going to be happening to the game constantly. The fact that they've specifically said spring 2016 on the official website means it almost feels like this is the spring. Almost like I was almost thinking like Nintendo Direct. Mm-hmm. That kind of sort of, right, we're going to be doing like regular video updates for you guys to tell you what's coming up and what's going to come in, almost like a Nintendo Direct. And this is kind of becoming their version of that because of what feels like the plan for Disney Infinity going forward maybe for the wild. That was, do you know, that's what I said to you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think that's exactly what it is. I don't think this is the new name. It just, I mean, we're talking about people saying that people get confused because there's a 1, 2, and 3. Imagine adding a next to it. Like now we have words, no more numbers. What's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I honestly think personally, when I first saw this, I thought it's just going to be announcing what's coming in spring. You know, the groundhog came up. He saw his shadow. We're going to see the Disney Infinity figures we knew about that leaked. We're not going to see anything past spring. I honestly think, if anything, they'll maybe tease something. But I only think we'll probably see Blue and the Marvel characters, and that's pretty much it. I don't think we're going to get much more.
I think we might see the Alice in Wonderland stuff, because if that's out in May, that kind of slides into the spring zone, and also then they're going to have to start getting, and it's already leaked, and
I guess
they're going to have to start
March, April, May. Yeah, you're right. Spring,
and they're going to have to start promoting it kind of April, May time if it's coming at end of May. So it's kind of, I was looking at it March, April, May. Those are the 3 months for this one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because that's spring. That's spring. You're right. So if anything, they'll maybe just show like a teaser of them. I don't know if they'll give us everything. You know, they'll probably want to be secretive like they were with this stuff. But yeah, I don't see anything past that at all. I don't know if they'll even talk about, you know, this other place that we've been told we're going to get, you know, or rumored we're going to get. So I don't know.
The only thing is, what I am wondering is if this is going to be this way of, I think they need to come out, if they aren't doing a 4.0 this year and are doing this DLC patch on for the next year or so, I think coming out and saying it openly is the best thing possible at this precise minute, because we're all sort of sitting here going, well, you know, and everyone's expecting this 4.0 announcement. They're expecting it in August or September. Everyone's expecting this sequel. So everyone's got their eye on it. So if they come out and say, look, we're doing something different now, we're upgrading, we've already said in the past that there's we've been doing everything that we can to kind of get launched, and this is the combination of everything. This just feels different, because at first this whole thing about them doing Toy Box TV Live, you know, they were it kind of got going, and it was really, really popular before launch. Once it launched, interest dropped, and Disney, I think the numbers weren't there, so they sort of stopped doing it. So I have kind of got, well, is this just a version of Toy Box TV Live? And then I saw something again, which was mentioned on the comment below on the page, where it said that there is going to be another announcement or another show taking place at 12 o'clock US time. So that'd be 8 o'clock UK time, I think 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where the Toy Box TV Live team are going to be discussing what's been announced, which was kind of like, okay, that slightly changes things again, because they're doing the TV Live thing separately.
Yeah, I honestly think that this whole next announcement thing is probably pre-recorded. I feel like that's something they've been working on. They're going to finally put it out to the public at 10. Then they're finally going to be able to talk about it live 2 hours later. And yeah, that's basically going to be it. Like, I don't know what the premise of the show other than reactions. I mean, maybe they'll show these new figures in action. Maybe they'll give us finally that gameplay we wanted to see of Battlegrounds for so long. I mean, maybe it's some of that. But other than that, I mean, I feel like you're right. I think like this is kind of like another thing that they did, you know, when the numbers declined for Twitch. You know, this is just another way to keep going and doing an additional thing, because I feel like they've done so many different avenues, like trial and error. Like they've tried to do unboxings, they've tried to do all like separating the videos with top fives and all that stuff, and it's great. But like you said, you start losing interest when there's too much or there's nothing to really talk about. So
yeah, I mean, I must admit, I always found the unboxing side of things, I always find official unboxings a little bit like, well, it doesn't work the same, because you know you're watching the official version, so therefore, you know, if the person finds a blemish or something, they're not going to mention it. So I always find like official unboxings, because I know like other sites and stuff do it, it's like it doesn't quite have that same kind of ring to it. So
right,
I know it's popular on YouTube, we do it, and it's because we like doing it and stuff. But once the official ones get down the line, it starts kind of losing what it is. But I do think, like, in general, I think this is interesting. I like this idea. I think Disney have got to try and get ahead of the retailers. They've got to try and get this information out. So if they're going to say
it's too late for that.
It's too late. I mean, it just feels like, we've had so much stuff already. If they want to, they need to try and get ahead of it. Because if they're going to do these updates, they, in some ways, they need to give us a few hints, because the retail is just going to be coming out. If we're going to be getting a play set every month or every other month for the rest of the year, we're going to need that kind of, they're going to need to try and get ahead of it. And this is the opportunity. This is, if they want to do it, they're going to have to come out, and just say, look, okay, we've got and we got some Pete's Dragon content coming in August. We've got some Doctor Strange content coming, just like they did with The Force Awakens. They didn't have to give too much away.
Right, I agree.
With The Force Awakens, they said there'll be a playset coming for Force Awakens, and we'll talk about it later. Just say that. Just say we've got another Marvel playset coming in November with Doctor Strange, and just say that's all you're getting right now. But because I'm thinking, with that Game Informer in training last year, they gave so much away and it worked.
Yeah, but you know what, Roger? Even this next thing being pushed back till March 1st. I mean, literally really close to the release of these. Obviously on the day of Zootopia figures coming out, 15 days before the Battlegrounds characters come out. I still think it's too late. I mean, I think I've heard from 5 or 6 different people saying the exact same thing. Watch. A retailer is going to have those figures up on the shelf before this next broadcast happens. And it's because this huge delay on wanting to give people information. Why they do it, maybe they're tied down to because they have like actual media per se, like movies or anything that could reveal plot lines. I get maybe there's secrecy, but how hard is it to show a figure that you've seen commercials of, Ant-Man, which honestly his new suit is like minuscule differences compared to what his suit was in this first movie. To delay it almost a year. Obviously, like 7 months, 8 months since we first knew that Ant-Man was going to come out, finally to actually give us the information. Dude, we've heard about this thing coming out at least 3-4 different times. We've seen the new suit over 10 times by different toy companies, TV commercials, Coca-Cola commercials. It's ridiculous.
Also, Black Panther and Vision are not new characters. Black Panther's been around for decades. It's not like, oh my god, this is a brand new character. This is Kylo Ren. We don't know anything about him. This is a character we've got comic books of and toys of already. I don't know. It just feels odd. It's like Baloo. If Baloo's coming out on that same day, that's a real late. That's so late to be. What's the idea? Was this, by the way, you got a Blue character coming out next week, because that's a really bad idea in terms of trying to not do leak, unless of course, like I keep saying, maybe sometimes leaks and stuff do have an added advantage of giving extra sort of publicity.
But I do understand that I slightly understand why they wanted to delay on the Marvel characters, but there's no reason to hold back on Baloo. JV got upset when the leak happened, but you had a chance to go ahead and already announce it. Like, I know you guys have plans and everything, but it's just pushing it back too far is probably a mistake. And honestly, every leak we have is retailer. You can't stop them from putting that stuff out. We're gonna find it, and unfortunately, people are gonna spread it around like wildfire. We're in the what do you call it? The social media age, and stuff is gonna go by. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think there's this kind of thing of like you said, the way that Marvel Battlegrounds we had, they said right from the word go back in May last year, there's a Marvel playset coming. We knew that nearly 10 months ago. We knew this Marvel playset was coming. We then knew they were talked about a little bit at New York Comic Con. They showed gameplay footage. They kind of revealed our first Avenger, and then we didn't see anything. And it was almost like this thing of the single playset stuff being pushed out sideways to kind of calm us all down with the price increase in the single figure, and then a blog post. It's just insane to think that playset is out in 3 weeks time, and we know. I mean, I think maybe last year, when that we had those play sets coming out, people were playing them months before they were out. Inside Out, people were seeing game footage in May and June, and people that were playing it live on Twitch and stuff 3 months before the play set was even out in the stores. I can understand with Star Wars: The Force Awakens, there was a slight issue with the storyline, but I don't know. It just feels very odd that they've waited so long.
Yeah, I agree with you, but like you know what? And going back to what you said earlier, I'll tell you the exact same I told you not that long ago. Was like when this broadcast happens, my realistic side is telling me it's just going to be Marvel Battlegrounds, obviously Blue, Zootopia, and then the little taste of Alice. But my optimistic side is what you just said earlier, which was I'm hoping it's like another Game Informer update, and it tells us, hey, this is what's coming, guys. Check out E3 in May when we show you everything in depth or whatever. But like this will be awesome if they actually decide to do this update, kind of like Game Informer. Otherwise, I guess we'll wait to hear from the retailers.
Because I think it's like, I'm thinking about, when we think at this time of the year, the last 2 years, this is the third spring we've had this. So 2 years ago, we were all awaiting the kind of what's coming next with Disney Infinity. We just had Phileas and Ferb figures coming out. We hadn't had a playset since Toy Story. And then we had that message come through of the Captain America shield. And we're all waiting at that event. And there was a big event in Los Angeles that Abe went to that showed off all these figures in full grand, amazing events that kind of was amazing in terms of the following year. They went an entirely different route. It came out in May where we had the Game Informer with a ton of information, and Game Informer had all the information. Now, this year, it has felt different because this time in the last 2 years, we had no more content, nothing more happening. The game was essentially dead in the water. This year, it doesn't feel like that. It feels very different. And I think it's just that thing of, like I keep saying, you got to throw that rule book up because everything's out the window this year. They're doing stuff differently.
Oh, they're definitely doing stuff differently. All right. I mean, power discs have been done differently. Obviously, this new way of putting Captain America in just the playset piece is completely different. Price point is different. News information is different. I don't know. It's crazy, but you know what? Like you said, next means what's coming. Something that's coming. So hopefully, we are pleased with what we see. I mean, I'll do mention one thing that now that it came to my head. I think JV said something in the Toy Box TV video. There's a contest going on of toy box building, and like there's 3 Star Wars winners and 3 Marvel winners, and they showed the prize pack. And JV did show the Marvel prize pack toy prizes, and he said that they'll get the Battlegrounds and 5 future figures that have not been announced. Now, I'm assuming if it's a Marvel prize pack, you wouldn't count Baloo in those 5. So 4 has Baloo. I mean, not Baloo, sorry. Black Panther, Vision. I should have said Bagheera. Black Panther, Vision, Ant-Man, and Black Suit Spider-Man, which leaves a mysterious 5th one. I mean, unless they decide to give people Baloo on a Marvel prize pack, that's interesting. So that's one thing that I did notice, which was odd. But
or it could just be a slip of the tongue, and it's those 5 figures.
He's counting. He's counting the first Avenger. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. The thing as well that caught me with this next announcement was also these Zootopia events that they have announced,
right?
Which take place on the same day, happening at 7:00 in the night. There are events taking place in Los Angeles, New York, Orlando, Chicago, and San Francisco. Now, this is the sign-ups have already taken place. Most of them, I think, are full up. This again was another big sort of like, oh, okay. Now they've done the Los Angeles event for every single movie that's come out, so that doesn't really surprise me of having a Zootopia event for the figures launching. That was in some ways almost a expected thing.
Right.
It was the Chicago, San Francisco, New York, and Orlando thing, which was like, okay, doing 5 events, something. This is costing them a lot more money. This is not just an event in their own theater out across the street. This is
well,
changing
sort of
things
with Anaheim and Orlando.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean like in Chicago, in San Francisco, it's slightly different. They were going out to different areas. I mean, obviously Orlando, yeah, they've kind of got some land down there they can use.
Right.
But it was like, well, hold on a minute, you're doing 5 live events to screen Zootopia and show this next broadcast. Are they going to have figures on display? Is this the I mean, I no doubt about it. This event must have been has been planned for a while. This stuff must have been in the process for quite a while to be sorting out in terms of what they were doing. So I don't know, but at the same time, like, we could be so easily disappointed if it's just confirmation of the leak stuff.
Well, okay. Well, first off, Wally and I are going to be talking about this now since he decided to come on. But anyways, it is kind of interesting. You mentioned that I mean, and obviously we're leading on to the next subject, which is this new this little screening that they're doing in 5 different cities. But it's interesting because not only are they showing Zootopia to Disney Infinity fans, but they're also going to screen the next broadcast before the movie again, as if they're trying to advertise something's coming. And like you said, for all the fans who are like in the know with the news, could be a disappointment. But if it is indeed more information and what's to come, then I think it's going to be really smart publicity. So, but yeah, it's like you said, they do these screenings all the time, but for them to actually expand it to 5 different places now, it's interesting.
I mean, there's some serious cost involved in doing this for them, and I mean, they've generally been in the past quite free lift, with the concept of giving figures and stuff. Because I'm thinking, if there was a screening nearby, I'm going, okay, so I get to see the movie for free. That's just saved me $20. And if they give me 2 free popcorn, soda, popcorn, it's like
another
$20.
It's
like another, and then if they ended up giving anything away free, you could be like $50-$60. Like, yeah, much do I sign up? How much is that flight? It's like,
yeah, right.
It definitely, those events, unsurprisingly, are going to be very, very popular. You say to anyone there's a free screening for a movie that's just coming out, it's going to be really popular.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what's really going to thing is the fact of, I think France got the movie last weekend. We don't get the movie for another month, so I'm going to be way behind yet. But
wait, France already got the movie?
Yeah, it was the highest animated takings ever or something, and Zootropolis got it last weekend for some reason. I don't know why France got it early.
Where's it called? Zoomania? Because apparently Zootopia was also taken. No, I mean Zootropolis was also taken somewhere. I think it was Germany or something.
I don't know. Yeah, Zootropolis is the European one. It's I don't know. I hate it when they do that. We have so many different movies that sometimes get completely rebranded, and you're like, oh, what?
Yeah,
but yeah, it's odd. It's because the figures are out. Nick and Judy are out next week. Was it the
March
1st or the So March 1st, I think March 4th over here. Kind of interesting. It's kind of got these 2 characters again. I think this always slides into the same thing of, without knowing the characters very well, these characters always tend to. I don't mind them being out a few weeks before the movies because they're on the shelf, but it's always that kind of thing. I think after people see the movie, it changes it, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You go into the store and you see a surplus of these figures, and once the movie comes out, they start disappearing. So I know it was harder for me to get spot for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, and it should be good. I mean, I'm looking forward to kind of picking up these characters and sort of seeing how how they are and what they do and stuff. Because other than the trailers and stuff, I don't really know too much about it. But I don't know. It was also that thing of having them out like 2 weeks before the Marvel, and you would have thought like Baloo would have been out at the same time if they were going to do it. Boba Fett getting delayed in the US. It's just an odd. This whole couple of the last sort of this sort of 2016 like launch stuff has been such all over the place in terms of what's been going on. It's odd because in terms of like no news is what we were expecting. In all honesty, when we were heading into 2016, we were thinking Marvel Battlegrounds, shut down, get that out the way, E3 4.0 maybe, and then back into another cycle of how it was going to work as it's done in the last 3 years. It just feels very different.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all I can say is let's see what's next. No pun intended. Sort of.
Yeah. And there's just because it's got an X in it doesn't mean there's X-Men coming. I think that's the other one coming.
Well, I don't know. They do have that Wolverine concept art displaying in Avalanche, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. But also just drop a Wolverine out and maybe a Deadpool. While we're just drop it out there, it's a casual extra toy box Coney character. Don't publicize it. Just give it to us, and we will be like, it's all right. We won't mention it to Fox.
Just do it before the next rated R Wolverine movie comes out, because that's the last thing we want to see.
Yeah, we don't want any more parents going, I've taken my kid to Deadpool and it's full of scenes that aren't inappropriate. It's like it's an R-rated movie.
Well, I was gonna say, like, the parents taking them to see Wolverine, like, but the previous Wolverines, he didn't say the F word. So I don't know. Yeah, but that movie would. That movie, once that one comes out, you can definitely kiss the chances of Wolverine in Infinity goodbye. So,
yeah, it's just been a very interesting week. I think it's so easy to get carried away with the idea of what this next is going to be, and I think people are just like, this is the next big announcement. It's like we could so easily just be like, here's just a bit of concept art that we've already, or something that we haven't seen before. It's so easy to get carried away, but on the other hand, this could be such a letdown.
It's bad, but I honestly, like, I feel for some reason my gut's telling me it's just going to be what's going to come in spring, and that's it, nothing else. Actually, not even just what's going to come out on the 15th. Other than that, I don't know.
Like I said, the one thing I just would like is just to say, right, there we will be continuously updating 3.0 with more DLC in terms of more playsets, more figures, more expansions, and we'll be telling you about that later. And that's literally, to me, that's what they need. They just need to kind of, if they aren't doing a 4.0 this year, move it aside and just put it to the people's back and say, look, it's not coming this year, and just let that kind of, because Skylanders already announced last week that Skylanders 6 is coming this autumn. And even though they've laid off loads and loads of people, there is still another game coming. And they've not said too much. They've just said there is one coming.
I don't know why, because this one didn't do so well. But I was just gonna say I wanted to say a special just a special message to that person who Disney Infinity listened to about giving them a choice with the Battlegrounds playset. That if that person is listening or watching us, please let them know that we just want to hear everything up front. Just give us the news. Tell us what's coming, and just be front. Like you said, just like Skylanders. Hey, guess what, guys? We have all these things coming. That's it. That's
I mean, it's like Lego last year. Lego were very kind of upfront right off the bat of what's coming out. I mean, in some ways,
that was an accident, though.
Yeah. I can see it both sides of points. It's all very fine saying, okay, guys, here are 100 figures that are coming out for 3.0 over the next 3 years. Boom. There you go. 5. You're going to have 11 play sets on all this stuff. First off, you'd have a lot of people going, whoa, too expensive. I'm not doing that. I'm not going anywhere near that. So that's the first thing. Second of all, how do you get your hype and all your getting people excited, doing all your press, doing all your sort of build up if you do all that? Because there's a kind of thing of, if you give away too much at the beginning, you've got nothing left to kind of hype to sell it afterwards. Because it's like with Lego, when they've got if they've got this new pack coming out, there doesn't seem to do any promotion for it. There's no kind of, it just appears on stores, so they don't get that second word. And I think Disney they've been smart in how they have spread information out to keep getting the headlines, to keep getting the attention, to keep getting the press, but it comes at a cost, and it's a double-edged sword. But they're the number one toy for So you can't say they've done too bad. They're the number one.
They're the number one toy, and yet they're apparently not doing so well profit-wise with that report coming out. It's kind of weird. But anyways, regardless of the fact, like you said, regardless of the fact, it just needs it needs to be executed carefully and differently as before. Like you said, because it is a double-edged sword. But when you know that your retailers have that info already, move quickly. You know.
Yeah. Because I think this was the thing of, in general, because obviously Disney Infinity got basically were the best-selling Toys to Life game, but and there seems to be a general theme. The Toys to Life category is starting to show weaknesses. Skylanders didn't do amazingly well last time. They have got Skylanders 6 out this year, but they've also just announced a whole host of layoffs in laying off hundreds of people. Now, this game that's coming out this year for Skylanders is being made by Toys for Bob, because with Skylanders they have two different teams and they take it in turns. So the team that did Sky Superchargers did this SWAT Force the year before, so they're taking it in turns. So when they're saying about layoffs, it could easily be I think it's the Missouri team or whatever that did the last game might be the ones that have been let go because the ones Toys for Bob are working on it. Personally, it's like with Skylanders. You know, they've got a new TV show coming along. Maybe for them, they're starting to look at maybe we just need one developer and do it every 2 years. Because I was watching this podcast the other day, and you know, our annual games killing. You know, this is not just with Disney Infinity, but the annual game situation is killing games, and it's causing a massive problem for gamers because having a yearly update like Assassin's Creed, they've announced that they're going to skip this year. That you know they had a massive problem with Unity. They are announcing that they're not doing annual from now on. You know, this annual drive of getting games that was causing bad quality games, and buyers were starting to back out because they didn't like all these patch versions. And I'm wondering if that's just an industry-wide thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely gonna have to change because, like you said, I do feel like a little bit of kind of like a change in pattern in gaming in general. I mean, not to mention Toys to Life. I feel like it's starting to decline in the sense that, you know, I feel like we finally hit that bubble where everybody was like extremely into getting everything. Now it's like being extremely selective. Now it's more like I don't know if I can even move forward with this because of bugs or because it has to happen every year and it costs a lot of money. I don't know. It's just it's interesting. All I know is that it has to be a system that works. It has to be something that actually gives you content that people enjoy, that people want. They actually listen to those who want to play the game, and like you said, just being honest and open about what is to come.
Because I still believe, as much as I love that toy box mode, it's that situation of they keep selling that patch, that you know, new versions of the toy box. I'm going to be honest, I don't think it sells. I don't think it sells to people outside of the community. People don't understand what that is. People understand playsets, the linear basic storyline. The toy box mode has not changed so much in the last 3 years from what it originally is. When you start a new toy box, if you don't know what you're doing, that toy box for 3.0 feels very, very similar to what you would have had at 1.0. And if you can't learn what to do, and that isn't what's selling it. The figures and the playsets are what sell it. The toy box doesn't sell the game to people. And I think that's the thing with it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the toy box is great. It's just not for everybody. And I mean, I happen to be in that category too myself. Like, I can only play in the toy box so much. It's not that I'm not creative or anything like that. It's just not that it's not appealing to me, at least. You know, it's appealing to a lot of other people, which is great, and they do amazing jobs with it. It's just, for me, it's the figures, it's the play sets, it's the expansion games. It's the stuff that keeps me, you know, continuously exploring an adventure that'll get me going. But like you said, that toy box needs to be revolutionized.
Yeah, it might need a year or two's kind of like, let's go back and update it properly, where rather than trying to rush it every year and just adding little, adding a spline tool. Amazing. The spline tool is fantastic. But that was kind of the thing. Everything was mentioned around with this kind of, some of these toys that were brought in. It's like, yeah, they're great, but if you know what they are and how to use them and stuff, it was like that wasn't, and it revolutionized the toy boxes. But I think, the hub worked very well at getting beginners somewhere to start with that's more functional. But now I think this is this kind of thing with the game overall. It's in its third outing, and I think playsets are what's doing. It's like Zootopia characters coming out. Or even Baloo. I'm like, it's a toy box only character. I'm finding now that it's very, very. It's hard to get as excited about a toy box only character because of the limited use. The Marvel Battlegrounds is the exact opposite. I can't wait for Marvel Battlegrounds because I'm going to get Black Panther, Vision. I'm going to be able to bring out all my other toys. I've got something to play. And I think toy boxes, they're all, we've got to go find this. You've got to go do this. It's like we've done it all so much.
And Roger, you bring on a really great point about being extremely excited about Battlegrounds. Here's the thing about Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds is not based on any movie or story that was told before. It's based on an original story that they've created, that they've tied a little bit of maybe storyline into it. Yeah, it's not consistent. It's a brand new story, and it involves all the Marvel characters. If they created a playset that did the exact same thing except for Disney characters, then that toy box only character Baloo becomes way more valuable because he can play with, Spot and Jesse and everything that you already do in the toy box. You can actually do it on a playset. That would be cool. And I agree with you. It's just for some of us, I want to say, I don't know specifics. I mean, I'll say for half of the people, they'll be into toy box. Half people they won't be. You want to tap into both sides. An expansion game can only last so long. So.
Yeah, I think I've definitely felt like this year is with 3.0. It's been very much along the lines of the initial kind of, okay, we've got free play sets and toy box takeover. Kept me busy for months of messing about in the toy box, learning how to use all the different bits and pieces. Speedway came along. That kept me busy for another couple of weeks. Then we had the Marvel characters, but it was fine because that was all right. But then it was that kind of thing of like, right, okay, well now Battlefront is out. So and now what it is then it was like I was out for a few weeks, and I mean I mess around in a few toy boxes, and then suddenly back into Force Awakens, and then it's back out of Force Awakens for a couple of months. Playing Lego Avengers, playing some other games, Tron. It's a couple of games I got for Christmas, and I'm wondering it as well if. The thing is now with Disney Infinity is going to keep bringing you back in because this Marvel Battlegrounds is going to bring you back in. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that haven't played it since Force Awakens. Or, there's a lot more kind of jumping in and out because I think with 2.0, it was like everyone jump in and everyone's falling off because of the toy box. Whereas this year, it's been this constant release is just helping you just keep bouncing back in and out again.
No, yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's just I don't know. Maybe we have something that's coming next, and it'll change us our way of thinking. So I don't know.
Yes,
we'll see.
It's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be. I'm just quite excited about next Tuesday. It's going to be a bumper day for Infinity because we like the live. We do that, then we'll do our podcast, and then I'll try and watch the Twitch show. Then I go to bed. and
then I'm going to Anaheim to watch Zootopia.
Yeah,
awesome.
So it's going to be. I'm just really torn next week of just being. It could be great. Or it could be a bit like, we already do all that. It's really kind of...
Yeah, we'll see.
Swing onwards, it was like, how are we going to do? But we'd love to know your thoughts. Get in touch with us through Twitter and in the comments below. Anything you want to add to that before we close off for the show?
Maybe... a mustache.
But let's listen to the audio version. Abe got a new toy in the hangout.
I just put a mustache in my face. Yeah. No, honestly, I hope that whatever it is that we do get announced. You know, whether if it's something we already know and it's upsetting to a lot of us, or it's something new and it's awesome, that we all show at least thanks that we're getting something, you know, because there's a lot of games out there who don't really get all these cool things and cool updates. Point is, just be happy, be thankful, and just enjoy it no matter what. Yeah, it may be a letdown because you already know the surprise is gone, but the fact is, it's still coming. So that's always cool.
Yes, that's good. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out our Patreon, Ethan over at sortapps.com and magicbandcollectors.com, and also big thank you to our other patrons as well. And yeah, just big thank you for joining us again on this week's show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're on iTunes or any other audio versions as well. You can subscribe to us there. And remember to join our Disney Infinity and Beyond Facebook group, where you can join in all the discussion. I think it might get a little bit interesting over there this next week. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you guys soon. Laters.
Later, guys.
Laters.